Good evening, and welcome to the first episode of Rising to the Top with Ebbsfleet. This is going to be a brand new series that I will be doing. I've been playing with Ebbsfleet throughout FM14 and now in FM15 as well. Tremendous success in FM14, bringing them all the way to Champions League. Sadly, FM15 came out and I never continued that save, but that's enough of that for now. Now, for those of you who might not know about the club, Ebbsfleet United, or as they're affectionately known by the nickname The Fleet, are a football club that bases their operations out of Stonebridge Road, Stonebridge Road, located in North Fleet, Gravesend. Stadium has a capacity of about 5,000 seats, give or take. Roughly about 500 are seated per match. Club is owned by KEH Sports Limited, and the chairman is Dr. Abdullah Al Humaidi. Current manager is Jamie Day, of course. I've replaced him, but we'll get to that eventually. Now, as I mentioned, their last season of competition was in Conference South, where they went all the way to the playoff final and lost to Dover 1-0. As a result, they got promoted to the next tier, which would be Conference Premiership, I believe. Yeah. So, anyway, a little bit, since we're on the club history still, basically as of May 2013, so as of last year, the new ownership came in, agreed to purchase the club and settle all of its debt, which accumulated to a whopping 10% of the club's overall value, which is a little bit too much for a club as small as Ebbsfleet. In addition to this, they promised to invest more in the squad and in the training facilities, which will ensure proper development of their youngsters for years to come. So that's enough about the club history. Now that we've covered all of that, we can move on to the actual game itself. So, a little bit of background on what happened here. Initial start of the save, I was not the manager. I was just holidaying up until the region date, which was the specific time when I took over this club. We can see the results prior to them instating Sir Walter Heisenberg as their new general manager. And nothing too special. I mean, they were holding a respectable league position when I took over the club. And furthermore, to add to that, a 5-0 win against Hemel Hempstead at home. And they still fired their manager, decided to go in a new direction with me, and this is where we'll start our highlights. Now, I'm not going to show highlights of every single match. We're going to go over the scores here. So basically, in the first match with Sir Walter Heisenberg as the main man behind the bench there, Ebbsfleet went on to lose 2-1 away from home. First goal of the match was scored by Will Henry in the 60th minute. Second goal of the match was scored by Adam Birchall in 89th minute, and Glenn Ree, who was a loan signing for the club for this season. Yep, he came over from Brighton in Championship, and he didn't actually do well. Well, we'll get to the performances later. But that was the final score. 2 of Ebbsfleet players getting booked in the process and 1 for Bromley, so overall it could have ended a lot better. We move on to the next match after that. And that was a 1-1 draw. Our first point in charge of the club. We're going to take a look at our first goal, and this was, as I mentioned, there was a specific reason, well actually I haven't fully mentioned this, but there's a specific reason why I took over on the region date. With this save, I went into the editor and I gave Ebbsfleet basically the top recruitment, youth, and training facilities. So I'm doing a youth academy challenge here. Those were the only changes that I made. And as a result, we ended up with a region who is going to be pure class. This kid has potential to be a leading Premier League attacking midfielder in the future. Looking at his attributes, he is absolutely beastly at 16 years old. 14 pace, 17 acceleration, 16 dribbling, 12 first touch, 16 passing, pretty damn decent attributes, mental attributes for a youngster. He is going to be absolutely insane. He already is, as evidenced by his consistent 7.0 and above match ratings. He only played 8 matches last season, but contributed to no less than creating 9 goals for us, scoring 4 of them and assisting on 5, collecting 2 player of the match awards in the process as well. 7.53 rating for last season. Absolutely insane in his first year of competition. Second year of competition so far, he's started pretty much every single match so far. He hasn't impressed as much as last year, but he still continues to impress nonetheless. Even though we're in the division above right now, and the competition is much tougher this year. Well, I don't know about much tougher, but we'll get to that later again. He's still contributing, but that's the current season. We'll get to that in a later episode. I went on a little bit too long about that one single match there. Next up, another draw, this time 3-3 against H&W. This one again away from home. So let's take a look at all the goals here. Since we have 6 of them, there's quite a bit to sift through. Here's the first goal. We struck first. Nope, that was just a chance. Okay. No, that was a counterattack on a goal. That was a goal on a counterattack for them. Sorry. Nope. See, it's been too long. Yep. That was 1-0 for us. Jack Payne. Absolutely magnificent strike there. And this interplay by the team is absolutely stellar all the way through. Just keep watching. Just watch this crisp passing between the players. They're patiently waiting until somebody is open and ready to receive a pass. Just like right there, and boom, that's 2-0. That's Payne's second goal of the match. At this point, I was thinking, I'm pretty impressed with the team I've got here so far. They're just as good as I remember them being last season in 2014. And then comes this goal. Pele. And no, not the Pele we're all thinking of, obviously. That's 2-1. Here's what I believe was 3-1. Yep. Dean Rance finds Matty Godden, and that is 3-1. I thought we had won the game by this point. Seriously. No contest. I'm sure any of you would agree with me there. There's 3-2. This is 75th minute, and I'm absolutely freaking out right here. And here's the absolute shocker. 8 minutes left in the match. Come on, lads. Concentrate, see the match through, but no, we just have to concede another fucking goal. Ugh. So that ended that one. A score of 3-3. We should have comfortably won that by a score of 3-1, but again, where's my defense, right? Next match against Concord Rangers, we had this. We had this match. Looking at the stats, more possession of the ball. Obviously a lot more fouls. Surprisingly not a single yellow card though. Yep. But we end up losing 1-0 on a goal from Alex Woodyard here in 44th minute. So he struck it right before the halftime whistle, and that dug our grave for the night. That was a beautiful strike too. Alex Woodyard. I actually tried to sign this kid, but failed. Obviously, reputation's not that great at this point in time, at the point when I'm showing these highlights. Not that it's any better now a year later, but maybe it's slightly better. Against Whitehawk, an absolutely magnificent win here. 5-3. Billy Bricknell, Kynan MacArthur. Let's take a look at his goals. Why not? At this point, he's actually 15 years old. So here's the 15-year-old wonder kid. Boom! Taps in the rebound. That's 2-1. And here's a second goal right before the halftime. Heads it in. Go on, my son. As you've seen from his stats, he went on to score 2 more goals throughout the rest of the season, but those were the 8 matches he played in. Considering that was the exact point in time when I took over, he played 8 out of 9 matches for which I had him available. 8 out of 9, and he scored 4 goals and assisted on 5 others. He's going to be something. Now, Weldstone over here, I'm not sure, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but 2 goals here. Reese Greco-Rocks on loan from QPR. Now, one important thing to cover, which will be covered at the beginning of next episode, so stick around, you'll see it. Now, and Charlie Sheringham. Charlie Sheringham was absolutely crazy. Well, not absolutely crazy. He was good last season, but this season he's absolutely insane, and we'll get to that as well in a later episode again. Since we're so far ahead of the recording schedule anyways, you can see a lot that has transpired just by me showing the highlights and player profiles. The next match against Boreham Wood, 1-1. And the goals here scored by Michael West and Austin Lipman in 37th and 66th minute. 2 more matches to go through, and that'll be it for this video. So this video will cover everything from the point where I took over up until the end of the season, which is basically March 6th, I believe, of 2014. Yep, March 6th, 2014 to April 25th. Uh, 2015, sorry. 2015 to April 26th, 2015. Got confused there. So, next match against St. Albans. Lewis Coombs, another one of our absolutely stellar regions. This guy has potential to be a good Premier League central defender in the future. I've already had over a dozen offers for him and rejected every single one. And Kynan MacArthur. So this match right here was the regen show. 2 of our newest additions to the team make an instant impact there. And finally, the last match of the season, Bishops Stortford, and that was a 1-0 win thanks to Matt Godden's goal to close out our season and ensure that we get promoted to the conference. So, there's MacArthur. Excellent run by the kid there, and Godden just smashes it in. That's his 10th in the season, on the last match of the season, and that is it. Now, before we close out the video, I'm going to show the deals that I made last season. So looking at this, we brought in a lot of these signings, actually all of these signings, except for Deegan, were not done by me. Deegan was the only guy that I brought in. And I actually brought him in on a free from Southend, who are in League 2. I was surprised that this guy was released, and I knew that he would be a really good midfielder for my side. Looking at his stats, there aren't that many players that have anything over basically 10 in the marking and tackling category, especially for a defensive midfielder at this level. And this guy has performed pretty adequately. I mean, I would have liked 7.0s and above, but he's done okay. And the only players that left, these were all done by me, by the way. I let all of these guys go. Well, only 4 of them, in fact. But Cessignon left, and many of you who may have played as Ebbsfleet know about this kid and know that he's not that great. In 2014, I had him for good 4 seasons. He amounted to absolutely nothing. he didn't even basically develop. So he was one of the first players that was placed on my transfer list, and successfully so. He's out of the club now. Joe Howe, you know what? Let's see what these players are up to right now, and that will be another topic that will be covered in the next video. So until the next time, thanks for tuning in, and if you enjoyed this first episode, please don't forget to rate, comment, or subscribe, or do all of them, and I will see you back for next one.